Hello and welcome to Zeropoint Energy, with a 0 point what we talk about and just as much energy. I'm Sean,
And this is Jorge.
and tonight we are talking about the 2015 Christmas adventure that is The Night Before.
This movie's just... It has a lot of stuff, okay? It's named after that one book, The Night Before Christmas. It has themes from Dickens. It's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, but that's what makes it awesome.
I don't disagree. It's just... Damn.
I mean, it's a stoner comedy for sure. It's starring Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anthony Mackie, Michael Shannon is at his best movie.
It's got Mindy Kaling. It's got what's it called? Diane is Elizabeth Ann Kaplan.
Yeah, I love my dog. He hates my girlfriend so much.
What? Why?
I should correct that. It's her dog loves me but hates her, and I now have a cat. My cat loves her and likes me but loves her.
Okay. Okay. Like Sean said, it's a stoner comedy. They have a bunch of drugs that they do, thanks to Seth Rogen's girlfriend, played by... Who is she played by?
I forget. Give me a moment. I don't pay attention to this shit.
Hold on.
Jillian Bell.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Jillian Bell.
Yeah.
And then from there, a Christmas tradition that happened since...
2001.
2001 starts for the last time, and that's the one thing they keep emphasizing. This is the last time.
It's because it's been 14 years. This movie is set in 2015. They've spent the last 14 years celebrating Christmas together, and now they're all at a point in their lives where it's time to start adulting full time. They can't have the big wild Christmas party that they've been having for years, which honestly, it started for a great reason. It is two best friends hanging out with their other best friend who was super sad and depressed at the holidays because his parents died.
And I mean, there's no closer family you'll have than those people who you choose to be family. I mean, your family that knows you is someone you grew up in an actually functional, proper home. I mean, everybody's dysfunctional to some degree, but I mean like a loving home. Like your parents didn't kick you out at 18 or nothing. Then they love you. You got really close family. But the family you choose, that's the family you keep.
Yes. The family you don't choose is good. But the family you do choose, they're the best.
I won't say the best. I'd say they're good. I'll just say they're good. They're some of the best.
They're better than the family you can't choose.
Okay, look. I grew up in a really good family.
In my experience.
Fine,
I grew
in your
up
experience.
With a decent family too, but I had a giant
No,
family.
did not. I met your family. They're horrible.
Well, that's after my family fractured and segmented. You know, my family fell apart once the older people started dying.
Usually that's a good thing, but okay. No, I'm kidding. It's like I have good family, and there I do see my. I guess it's a little opposite for me because I see my close friends as family too. But yeah.
Well, the same for me. Like my close friends are my family, but then I also have my extended family that I've chosen. Like basically Holly's in-laws. I count them as my family. And I love those people. And they do amazing things for me and her. They help us out so much. And what little I can do for them is just my best way to return that love.
Okay, so
but they're the people I choose to let in and be like family.
Let's
just
talk
like my super close friends like you and Vic and Katya and Christiana, all those people. Those are my chosen family, the people I choose to let into my life and be close to me.
Let's talk about that. How does it feel to be a race traitor? I'm kidding.
How am I a traitor?
Because a lot of the people you mentioned are different than your own race. That was the joke.
Everybody's different than my own. My blood family are different than my own race.
True, but you're multiracial, so technically you can choose your race, at least among those races.
Yeah, but I choose the one race that is the most racist.
Native American.
I'm
kidding.
Or at least has the most racism thrown against it. Native Americans. Yeah. the group of people who aren't protected by the Department of Human Services by the federal government were part of the Department of the Interior, like animals.
I can always say that shit ain't right.
And they define us by how much blood we have in us, blood quantum. If I had if it turned out that I had a ancestor 5 generations down that was black, the government would treat me like a black man. And I probably wouldn't have lived this long.
I was going to say, now, is that better or worse than Native?
But since I have family within 2 generations that are Native American, I'm not Native American according to the federal government.
Okay, now do they treat you worse or better than a Mexican?
Worse or better? I'd say worse, because I'm not even allowed to count as my own fucking race.
True, at least they acknowledge my existence. Or they try to. I mean, I'm undocumented. I'm kidding. No.
I knew it.
Shut the fuck up. You know I'm joking.
True. You don't work hard enough to be undocumented.
The fuck I don't.
You don't.
Lies. You almost gave me heat stroke. Don't even.
Almost?
According
to you're not really a Mexican. The heat stroke is even a remote possibility.
Lies.
I've seen 10 of those guys build a house in 6 hours for a case of beer.
Okay, you're talking about the Amish, not I'm kidding. Really? Not even a chuckle? Okay, give me the soundboard, you bastard. There we go. That's what I needed. That's right. Now we have a soundboard, thanks to my friend.
It's not my fault. I found the soundboard in Discord while we were watching a movie, and now I'm having fun with it.
I still blame you. Still. Anyways. Now, sorry, this Christmas tradition actually involves a couple things. Eating Chinese food. I don't remember in what order. It's like eating Chinese food.
Going to the tree at Rockefeller Center.
That's it, yeah. That too.
Eating Chinese food.
Doing the piano thing at RAO Schwartz.
Yes, after that's it. It's go to the tree at Rockefeller Center, dance on the piano at FAO Schwartz.
FAO. It's FAO or RAO?
FAO.
Hold on, I'm looking that up. FAO Schwartz.
And then it's get Chinese food, and then go sing karaoke at the karaoke
You're
bar
right, FAO.
next to the Chinese place.
You know, I actually want some Chinese food now.
Chinese food is always good. I had pork stew for dinner that I made. We got a slow cooker recently, so I made stew all day long. It was delicious.
Dude, stews are awesome.
Honestly, it was the simplest thing. It was literally just some cut up pork stew meat, some carrots that I ran through the food processor and got super fine, and then a little packet of like kind of pre-seasoned stew gravy that you have to dilute with water. So, pour that in, put a cup of water in, let it cook all day. I realized about halfway through the cooking process that, you know what, this is basically a gravy. So got some mashed potatoes, had a bowl of mashed potatoes, dumped the stew on top of the mashed potatoes, and it was delicious. It was like having pork roast with potatoes and carrots.
Like, what's it called? It's basically a chili, but what's it called? What we have is like hot dogs, beans, bacon, chorizo,
So
onion,
basically Mexican frankenbeans.
Kind of, yeah. Sorry. And what do you call it? It's so delicious. It's fatty, but it's so filling. It's awesome.
Fatty but delicious.
I had a bad joke.
A bad joke? I mean, you gotta tell it.
Okay, that's what they said about my ex-girlfriend. And that's why I left her. No. Let's see. Really? Really, buddy? Fuck you. No, but then they've had this tradition for a long while, but like you said, they're trying to adult and they're trying to get on with their lives because what the hell is the name of the characters? Because I know Anthony Mackie is a football star.
Anthony Mackie, his name is Chris.
Right? And then Seth Rogen's character is Ethan? No, Isaac.
Isaac. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Ethan.
Right.
Ethan is a go-nowhere. person. He's not adulting properly compared to everyone else. He's a musician who makes weird ass music that nobody listens to.
To be fair, there's a lot of weird ass music that nobody listens to, and I mean like genre wise.
In his words, he's recording a concept album that he's still conceptualizing.
That means he ain't done shit.
Exactly. Isaac is a lawyer. I mean, go figure to choose a lawyer. Who is married and about to have his first child.
With
and
a
Chris
Christian
is
Catholic.
Yes, he's marrying a Jew is marrying a Catholic. And Chris is a football player who is now having a big surge in popularity because he's suddenly gotten very, very good at football because he does steroids.
It's not cheating till you get caught.
As Lance Armstrong once said.
Okay. No.
I don't know how someone else's blood got into my veins. It's not my fault.
Someone else's blood.
He was blood doping.
Yes, but the way you do it properly is you take out your own blood and then you put in your own blood again.
Yeah, but it's better if you put someone else's blood in.
Oh, did you hear? I forgot who it was, but there was a I forgot what sport. Oh, shit. Okay, it was an athlete who was blood doping, and he was treating a condition he had, but he didn't know it. He was actually performing how he would normally if he didn't have the condition, like he couldn't process oxygen properly, something with his hemoglobin. So by having more blood in him, he was able to operate properly, not be out of breath and shit.
That sounds like an episode of How.
Wait, no, but it was based on something. I swear it was based on something real. Hold on.
It probably was based on something that was in the news, but that is legitimately an episode of How.
Okay, yeah, it's an episode of House. Fuck. I swear I read about it, though.
Woohoo, I watch too much TV. Also, I love House. I want it. I used to have a doctor in real life who was like him. A total asshole, but he always told it to you straight. Like, I remember the time I went into his office with fucking 2 broken ribs and a bruised rib. Like, you got fucked up this time, didn't you?
And what? You're
I
like,
did,
no.
Yeah, I did. No, man, you can't hide it on the x-rays.
Can't hide it on the x-rays. You can hide anything if you try hard enough.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's just hard to hide the pain.
If this is going to be the nomadic, goddamn. Did you just quack at me?
Yes, I did. Quack, quack, motherfucker. We should do Mighty Ducks. And I'm going to quack every time they quack in the movie.
Okay, moving on. I think we should mention this. The narrator in the movie, it's only for a short time, is Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Now, the entire movie is, like we said, a mix of different stuff where it seems like they're going one way, but then they're going another. Like, the movie, obviously, The Night Before Christmas, but then, with the title, but then they have to get weed for some reason, and
their weed dealer is the ghost of Christmas.
Everything. Literally
Michael Shannon.
Literally just Ghost of Christmas everything. Then he mentions the present as the first ghost. There's not even a what's it called? A warning. There will be 3 ghosts. No. It's just you take this weed. This is the present because the present is no, not the present is a gift. Not that one. What did he say?
When Anthony Mackie's the one who smokes the weed of Christmas present.
Right.
And he goes, but you're here in the present with the weed of Christmas present. And Anthony Mackie goes, by that logic, isn't all weed the weed of Christmas presents? Only on Christmas, my child.
He's weirdly intense, and like Michael Shannon is weirdly intense, but also,
as he says later in the movie, his quiet intensity just brings out the best of him. Something like that. What he says is actually a quote about him. Like his character, Mr. Green, is quoting something a movie critic said once about Michael Shannon.
You serious?
As an actor? Yeah.
Wow, okay. And they call him to get the weed because Anthony Mackie needs it for a coworker, another star. Who is that guy, by the way? Chris something.
It's
Owens.
another football player. You mean
Owens.
the actor who plays him?
Yeah, yeah. No, not that.
Uh,
Not the actor. Just the name of the character. Something Owens.
oh, the Messiah,
Yeah,
White
Tommy
Jesus,
Owens. Something like that.
Tommy Owen. Yep.
And they keep calling him the Messiah, White Jesus, and stuff. I'm like, why? And we find out why later. But point is, he gets the weed, and then they start on their adventure, which in a what's it called, in a limo that's sponsored by Red Bull.
Yep. It's the Red Bull Rimmel. Limo.
Admit.
Words are hard. I bet. I
Yeah,
hear you struggling with them too.
I just
Is it are the words hard for you, or is it the English?
no. It's the fact that you have problems with it, and it's your first language. It's my second. I have an excuse.
I mean, I have an excuse too.
The hell you do?
Words are hard.
Words are not hard. They get you hard. There's a difference.
I mean, same thing.
No, in the right order. I'm not talking about it. Moving on. Like basically it's bullshit philosophy. Then there earlier or no after? Yeah, earlier. Earlier Seth Rogen gets a bunch of drugs from his wife because he's been so good to her, and she's like, have one wild night, and then shit ensues because this I don't know if this guy ever like the way he takes drugs in this movie. This man does not know how drugs affect him or does not have any idea what the hell he's taking because he's not responsible at all with his drugs. What the hell?
He used to get high years ago. He used to do all kinds of drugs to party. But in the time since he's been married, which has been 4 or 5 years at this point, I believe, he's completely stopped, gone absolutely sober.
Okay.
Other than when he goes drinking with his friends on their annual Christmas outing.
Certain things are like riding a bike. You don't forget, okay? Getting shit-faced on tequila. You learn what your limit is on tequila. Getting shit-faced on vodka. You learn what your limit is on vodka, okay? I'll admit, every single drug or every single thing you imbibe is different, okay? But at the same time, you don't forget. Or if somebody gives you a pill... Hold on. I'm almost done. If somebody gives you a pill and you don't know what it is, you shouldn't take it. But everybody's young once and you just do.
Okay. So they actually do point this out that his wife doesn't know much about drugs. So she got random everything, and the proportion, they actually say it, the proportions are way off. Okay. So he's got like a single joint, but then he has enough to do like 4 or 5 key bumps of coke. He's got multiple pills of Molly. He's got acid. He's got 2 handfuls of shrimp. Not a little pinch, a handful.
I would say more than that. It was like, it looked like at least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just because he kept putting them in his mouth, like handfuls, like you said, but it looked like more than that. But I'm just saying, sorry.
And then like every other scene that you see him, you see him slipping another pill in, and another pill in, and every pill he takes is a different color with a different fucking label on it.
We lose what the hell he's taking at like literally at the beginning. He says Molly this, he says Coke that, but then after that we don't know what the hell he's on.
He's on mushrooms and mushroom cap. Whole shrooms and just caps are 2 different types of hallucinogen. He's on Molly, ecstasy, Coke. I don't know if he ever actually smokes the one joint he has.
Pretty sure he doesn't.
Also, because of the limo, they have free Red Bull all night. So he's also just, his heart's about to explode on caffeine.
He thinks
just like our boy Joshua.
Okay. Yes, but I just got that. Okay. The thing is, later on, he takes, what do you call it, shrooms. He's happy. Then he gets a bad trip. Then he thinks he'll take the edge off with mushrooms. I mean, not with Coke. That's not how that works. With Coke. No.
It
Coke,
actually is.
No,
it actually is.
No, Coke gives you anxiety. That'll just make it worse.
But when you're seeing shit that's scaring you, the anxiety given to you by Coke balances it out. Because at least you know what's making you afraid then.
That doesn't seem like that's how that should work.
Logically, it's not how it should work. It's how it does work, dude.
Okay, I've never had like hallucinogens. Okay, I've had mental problems with anxiety, and
Oh man,
when I had
hallucinogens are awesome, man. You really should try some.
no. Moving on. My point is specifically when I had more anxiety issues. Okay, I drank a lot of coffee one night. Yeah, it was coffee, and I think I had a Red Bull. But I was trying to complete a paper, and I had a breakdown of like a panic attack, and I had to write that shit out while like drinking a bunch of water and peeing and just thinking, okay. Like I literally had to basically talk myself down from it and get back to writing my paper. I literally just basically said, okay, I feel very, very bad right now. And I had to just focus on my paper to get through it. And I was able to do it. And I learned there is such a thing as too much coffee.
Life lesson.
Fuck you. Moving on. Specifically, though, like, that doesn't make sense to me because I've had panic attacks. I know exactly what that feels like. And I don't very, very highly because cocaine is like concentrated caffeine.
Yeah.
So no, that like in my head that immediately screams no. But fine, I haven't had them. You have. I'll concur. I'll concur. I'll defer to your experience. Moving on.
I've lived a lot of life.
Moving on. Okay, specifically.
Moving on. And then
Anthony.
we meet Julia the Grinch.
Julia the Grinch.
That's actually like her character name is Julia Grinch.
No, Rebecca.
Rebecca Grinch. I'm sorry.
Who looked familiar? Who? Hold on. Let's see. Who is she?
Laura. Well, I forgot her fucking last name.
Glazer?
Yeah, Laura Glazer.
Okay, I don't know this lady. I thought she looked familiar. Forget it. No, like she's
semi-remote. She was in the movie Rough Night.
This was a rough night.
She was in The After Party.
Never seen it.
Time Traveling Bong.
Don't want to see it.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Didn't see it.
The Emoji Movie.
What makes you think I saw it?
I don't know. Because I've seen it. Usually if I've seen it, you've seen it.
Usually, but some of us have more discerning taste.
Oh. Teenage Euthanasia.
Okay, moving on.
BoJack Horseman.
These guys are really, really good at rapping Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis.
Yes.
Which they did.
That's the song that they've always done every year. That's why everyone knows. That's why the one ex-girlfriend goes, Run DMC, I finally got to see it.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Also, that's Diane. She's had a thing with Ethan with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it's awkward, cute type thing. Also, Anthony Mackie had sex with the Grinch. Kinky sex. At one point, she says, okay, now take a dump. And he's like, what? And he's on the toilet. They're in the position. They're in the bathroom. And I'm like, what the hell would you even call that? Like, I know what a blumpkin is, and it reminds me of a blumpkin, but that's about it. Don't look up what a blumpkin is, people.
I mean, if they don't know what it is by now, they've never had fun in their lives.
You know what? You look it up. I don't want to. You look it up. I don't want it on my internet history.
I'm not going to look it up because I don't know. Like, even my Google food needs specifics.
Okay.
What am I going to type into Google for that? What is it called when you take a shit while fucking somebody doggy style on a toilet?
It wasn't doggy style. It was reverse cowgirl.
I mean, he was sitting on his lap. Technically, it's doggy style, but they were sitting down.
Technically, it's reverse cowgirl because he's down.
But he's sitting upright, not laying down. Reverse cowgirl, you'd be laying down, and then she's sitting facing the wrong way.
Fuck it. Okay, fine. You know what? We're talking about this too much. Moving on.
I mean, I'm sure it takes up at least one entire page of the Kama Sutra.
So moving on.
I've seen the pretty pictures. A lot of them are, the body doesn't bend that way.
Okay, in all seriousness, like, I've seen the pictures, I've actually seen the temples and the art around them, and, like, it's actually really well done. I like the art. It's, yeah.
I mean, it's a well-drawn book.
No, not even the drawings. I'm talking about the temple walls that were carved in.
Have you ever seen the photo book of the Kama Sutra?
I didn't know there was a photo book.
Yeah, someone made a photo book of it once. of like just people in the different poses. Like you gotta be really good at yoga to get in some of those positions.
Start young, people. Start young. With yoga, not the Kama Sutra. God damn it. Okay, moving on. Anyways, during this time with the Coke, Seth Rogen has a meltdown. He basically, my favorite line, literally, he says, "We shouldn't have the baby. Get rid of it. Send the baby down the river." Like Moses, the Jewish man wants to send his baby down the river. Like Moses, there won't be a pharaoh to pick up your baby. You think the baby's the devil, basically. Just no. Why?
Because he had a moment of clarity.
That's not clarity. Like, okay, maybe emotional clarity, but I definitely wouldn't call it mental clarity.
Well, see, there's a difference between post-nut clarity and post-coke clarity.
The only time I've ever had post-Coke clarity is when I figured out I liked Mexican Coke more than I liked American Coca-Cola. Oh,
But no, seriously, everybody loves Mexican Coke more than American Coke because it's got real sugar in it and it tastes better.
Yes, it does. Also, really, dude. Really.
What?
Moving on. Okay. Anyways, after he sends the baby down the river and does more coke, apparently, he leaves the bathroom and then bleeds on what? Fuck you. Then bleeds on Mindy Kaling's martini, and then she mentions it tastes coppery. Why? This is so horrible.
Like, this tastes different. It's actually kind of good. It's kind of coppery. You know, I think they gave you a crantini. It's still part of the teeny family. Crantini, martini, lemontini, same thing.
Also, throughout this...
He's high as shit.
Yeah, throughout this, Seth Rogen is obviously high as shit, but he's also speaking really, really fast. He went from Jewish to Puerto Rican. Like, not that fast, but close.
And, she mentioned, you're talking really fast. You're talking like an auctioneer. Sold! And, was that scary? Sold! You said it. Now I can't stop thinking about it. Sold! And, of course, also during that exchange of him having a Coke nosebleed into her glass, that's when Chris is in the bathroom fucking the Grinch. And at one point, the other girl, the ex-girlfriend, tries to go into the bathroom. And she's like, what the fuck's your problem? People are in here fucking. Come back later.
Like, I know it's called the dive bar, but no. Just no.
I mean, you gotta have fun at the dive bar, man. Swan dive, muff dive, all the dives.
I was just gonna say, just go into the bathroom, do some drugs, come back out, have some fun. Like freaking Seth Rogen did. I'm kidding. I'm not condoning drug use, people. Just, Jesus. I mean, they leave. Go ahead.
They did all the things. All the fun stuff.
Fun in freaking quotation marks. Just, okay.
It's all the adult fun that consensual adults can have with each other.
Look, they said Christmas present, so they're doing stuff from freaking the present that's tradition and stuff. Fine, they're having fun. But then we switch into the past before the drug dealer comes back with them going to Anthony Mackie's ma's house and playing some N64. Playing some GoldenEye. Anybody who's played that game knows. It's fucking golden. It's awesome. I loved GoldenEye on the N64.
It is the best multiplayer of any of the James Bond games. But I would still say GoldenEye is better multiplayer than fucking Call of Duty.
The only Call of Duty I remember playing was on PS1 or PS2. I think PS2. Yeah. What do you call it? PS2 Call of Duty was good. I still haven't played the modern ones. I just no.
Don't bother.
I was gonna say.
I mean, the current one, the one that like literally it's at this time of recording came out a few months ago. It takes less time to play through the entire fucking campaign single player than it does to install the fucking game.
Okay, hold on. Are we talking console or we're talking computer?
Both.
Fuck.
Like it takes you like an hour or two, maybe 3 to install the game because it's fucking 90 fucking gigs. And then once you start playing it, you've beaten the campaign in 3 or 4 hours.
Are you sure it was
So,
only...
as long as you've got an 8-hour day to put into this shit, you can play through the entire campaign by yourself, install it and uninstall it, and you're good.
Hold on.
And you wasted $75.
Hold on. Are you sure it was only 90 gigs? Because I'm pretty sure the last one that came out was like 500 and something.
You know what I meant.
It's a lot of gigs. Yes, it's a lot of memory.
It's a lot of gigs. It's damn near a terabyte.
Which is fucking ridiculous. You don't need that much. Okay, certain games that push the limits, like graphically and shit, I understand. Like fucking what was the name of that game? It looked incredible. I forgot. If I remember, I'll bring it up again.
The original Crisis that used to be the benchmark for if your PC can run it, you actually have a good PC.
Yeah, but no, I mean like graphically impressive games, like freaking the remakes of Resident Evil were pretty freaking cool.
Oh yeah.
Like even okay, this is PS4, but for Kingdom Hearts 3 when it came out, they aren't even using cinematics anymore. They're just doing in-game graphics and rendering it in real time. Like that's impressive as hell. Because back in the day, you'd have to pre-render and make FMVs, and yeah.
Yeah, because was that still PS3 or is that one of the early PS4 titles?
No, that was mid to late range PS4, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay, because the one game, like I have not played it because it was an exclusive and now it's almost impossible to get a copy of it, was the Metal Gear Solid game, like Guns of the Patriots or something like that. Okay. The one where you play this old Snake.
Okay, yeah.
The one that has the meme where at the end of the game you hit F to pay respects.
Yes.
That campaign is ungodly long, but it's not that long if you skip the cutscenes, because that is the game that had the infamous 2.5 hour long cinematic in the middle of the game. There is a feature length fucking movie that you have to sit through.
Okay, I would be mad about that, except Hideo Kojima is a great storyteller. That's the only reason I wouldn't get mad.
Yeah, it's amazing storytelling, and like I said, the first time you play the game, you sit through this thing. Like, playing through the entire story the first time you do it, so you watch all those cutscenes and all of that stuff, takes you fucking 2 weeks. Because you'll play for 2 hours and then sit through a feature-length movie, and then, okay, I'm kind of done for today. And then you do it again the next day, and you do it again the next day, and you do it again the next day. Like, I watched a video essay that just explained that game from the time you boot it up until the time the fucking end credits roll. That just video essay alone of someone explaining the entire story of the game. There's no gameplay in it. It's just a compilation of the cutscenes with a voiceover every so often. Is 5.5 hours. Now imagine having to play missions in between these 5.5 hours worth of cutscenes. And mind you, one of the cutscenes is a 2.5 hour unbroken scene.
Yeah, that would annoy the crap out of me. Like, there's got to be at least some save spots in between the videos.
Oh yeah, the save spots are the part when you actually play the game.
But okay, let me put it to you this way, okay? As an adulting, I've got like 1, maybe 2 hours to play video games a week.
Yeah.
So like, what's it called? Playing Baldur's Gate 3 personally, like if it had long ass cutscenes, I couldn't play the game. I just can't, because I'd be watching just the video for a while. Like if I could give it more time, hell yes, I could take a couple days off of work and do that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's I picked up the legendary Mass Effect, the remaster recently, and that's what's been killing me because I've been rewatching all the cutscenes because they looked better, even Mass Effect 1. But it's like, yeah, I forgot how long some of these fucking cutscenes are in the first game. Like, I know they get longer in 2 and in 3. I'm like, wow, this game's gonna take me a fucking month. I'm not even a quarter of the way through the fucking first game. I've had it for 2.5 weeks now. 3 weeks. No, 4, 5, 4. I bought it. Oh my God. I bought it before we went to Vegas. So I bought it before Thanksgiving. But I didn't get a chance to start playing it until right after, like right around the first of the month or so. But still, in the last 2-3 weeks, I barely made it a quarter of the way through the game.
Like I said, I know the feeling.
Admittedly, it is also one of those games that's a robust character creation, so, it took me 3 hours to make my character.
That's how long it took me on the original BioWare Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, it's going to take you triple that if you ever do Baldur's Gate 3. It is, like, you know how Skyrim used to be the definitive for, like, wow, it's such an in-depth character creator?
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate is the new one. Like, you can customize so much, like, every little fucking thing. Plus just all the different races you can play as. And the fact that what race you choose actually affects the story to some degree. Not a massive degree, but there is different interactions and stuff because you're playing as a different race. More so than how it is in Skyrim. Plus, there are, at the time of recording, 11 different genitalia.
I don't want to know about... Are there even... You know what? No, there were sex scenes in frickin' Skyrim, so why not? You know what? I'm not... Moving on.
Oh, yeah. No, there are full sex scenes.
Moving on. I don't... You know what? No. People want to get their King Kong, go for it. Moving on. Alright. One thing, they keep leaning on to the cliche with Gordon's character, Ethan. Like, he's bad at flirting, but he's good at the awkward, and sometimes if they're feeling it, together, the awkward is good. But then he goes for the kiss under the mistletoe, and she's just like, no. And, it was the mistletoe. Just kiss the guy.
Well, admittedly, the mistletoe that he, tried to kiss her under is all brown and shriveled and dried out. It's literally the metaphor for his relationship. It's done. It's over, guys. Move on.
She was flirting too. You saw it.
Yes, but it's Lizzie Kaplan. She's awkward as shit to begin with.
And that's why she's adorable.
Right. But you can't put awkward-ass Lizzie Kaplan and awkward-ass Gordon-Levitt together and expect beautiful things to happen. That is just going to be a mess of awkward. And as the kids would say, it's cringe.
Give me 1 second. Literally, I'll be right back. I'm back. Where were we?
Yay! We were, if you put two awkward-ass people together, it doesn't make it better. It makes it cringy.
I disagree. It makes it adorable because they were actually quote-unquote vibing on the cringe.
Meh.
You say meh, I say fuck you.
Well, it's like, okay, they do have points when later, when you see Lizzie Kaplan and Mindy Kaling talking, they're like, oh, you like him, you want to get back from him. She's like, yeah, maybe, probably. But when you put those two back together, it's like, okay, you both obviously kind of sort of want to get back together, but neither one of you want to pull the trigger on the, hey, maybe we should get back together. Except for the guy is kind of pretty much like, we should get back together. I don't know how I'm going to change to make it better, but we should get back together. And you have the girl like, I want to get back together with him, but I don't know if I should get back together with him. But I kind of want to get back together with him. Like, at least just fuck him one more time and get it out of your system.
Look, they're both, leaning into the cliche on this, so just fight, kiss.
Like, they're leaning too hard in the cliche. It's almost like Seth Rogen leading into the Jew at Christmas Mass.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We don't have to be linear.
Time is... Okay, you know what? Fine. Sometimes effects
time
predate
keeps on slipping.
No,
into
wrong movie.
The future.
Wrong movie. Next week, Space Jet. I'm kidding. Just
It's all timey-wimey stuff.
that was a horrible, horrible Doctor Who intro.
I don't have a theremin to do it better.
You have a high voice. You don't need one.
I know. It's late at night and I have neighbors. Also, I'm trying not to scare the cat. The cat's laying in my lap peacefully. But I like cats, okay?
You can like cats. I cannot like Toxoplasmosis gondii. Moving on. Just
Unless you're a pregnant woman, it doesn't affect you at all.
lies. It affects your personality.
What personality? You could use some infection of your personality.
No, that might be why I don't have one. It's true. Tell me it's not.
Hey, you know what? If 6 bouts of COVID didn't kill you, fucking toxoplasmosis won't either.
It's not about killing me. It's about changing who I am. Like traumatic brain injury. Or coke.
I
cocaine.
had both of those.
When did you have... You know what? We're not talking about that. Back to the movie. Okay.
I've been hit in the head a lot.
You're not a boxer.
No, but I used to work in a factory. I got hit in the head with a sledgehammer once.
Oh,
and
shut.
I hit my mom. No, that was at home.
Oh, what the...
Me and my dad were taking apart a porch, and I got a little too close on his backswing, and I caught a fucking 20-pound sledge right to the center of the forehead.
You might have more than one personality, and that's Cleo. Moving on.
I do have a tendency to not show my work.
Back to where we're supposed to be. After the party, ducks. After the party, we have them going to Anthony Mackie's Ma's house because the Grinch fan fucker literally stole the weed.
That's right. We talked about that part. We even talked about GoldenEye being the best multiplayer game ever.
No. I'm not talking about that. His ma has a literal shrine to him.
Yes, I love the joke they make because they're seeing this shrine with his jersey, all his pictures, all his trophies he's won over the years.
Even as a kid, like some of that stuff was just like Pee-wee type stuff.
I know, and they're like, "Did you die and not tell us?"
Like, okay, that was actually kind of horrible. Like, did you die and not tell us? Like, the fuck? Like, I was thinking more along the lines of like, okay, yes, your mom loves you unconditionally, but at the same time, this is fucking hero worship.
Honestly, what it looked like is, all of our fans who, I know I'm kidding when I say fans. None of you people actually like us. But all the weebs out there would know this type of shrine. It legit looks like the type of altar that Japanese families set up to the dearly departed.
I wouldn't go that far. I've seen the shrines that the Japanese usually do, and they're usually fairly modest. They're not... Go ahead.
If there weren't so many goddamn flammable fucking necklaces and shit on there from all the metal ribbons and that, I bet there would have been incense. Or candles.
Like, my favorite part from this was they were talking about the past and shit. We get a small, what's it called? We learned that freaking Seth Rogen wore tie-dye and had like a, what's it called?
He had a tie-dye Bob Marley shirt.
Yes.
And he'd never smoked weed before. And he did not realize that that's, like, people assumed he was a pothead all through high school because he wore tie-dye Bob Marley shirts and loved Bob Marley music.
That's like people assuming somebody's a communist because they have a shirt of El Che.
I mean, aren't you though?
That or you don't know history enough and you're a poser.
True. So, again, a communist.
Poser. Moving on.
I mean, if communists were allowed to learn history, they wouldn't let it repeat itself. Dude, you know who that is. Be quiet.
Is he barking at the cat or Holly?
No, he's barking at Holly because she went to the bathroom. And he's still barking at her, and she's standing right in front of him. Like, dude, it's been 7 years. You know who the fuck that is. Stop barking at her every time you see her. I know. Like, the cat, which is, like, I'm the one who likes cats, although it was Holly's idea to get a cat. The cat loves her. Her dog hates her. Her dog hates her, loves me. My cat loves her and tolerates me because he comes by me, but he loves her. He's been cycling up on her since we came home with him.
Okay.
Our animals are fucking weird.
Okay.
Our turtle gives no shits as long as somebody gives him food.
Turtles and fish are the same in terms of them not giving no shits.
The fish that we originally put in his tank for him to eat have learned to survive and hide from him so long. They've basically become our pets now.
You ever have
our hamsters fucking hate us, but they hate everything that's bigger than them, and we have dwarf hamsters, so fucking everything is bigger than them. And our guinea pig is just old. He's not long for this world because he's already been long for this world.
Okay.
He's well beyond what is normally old age for a captive guinea pig.
Take your word for it.
4 or 5 years out of him, maybe 6. He's pushing 6.5.
For a second, it sounded like you said 86. I'm like, what? What do you mean 86?
No. Between 4 and 6 is normal for a captive guinea pig. He's like 6.5. It's one of those, we're not hoping he dies anytime soon, but it will not be surprising if one day we go to check on him and he has passed. He's at that age.
Makes sense.
But it happened. He's had a long, happy life. Holly's provided a good, happy home for him. And in the few years I've been here, I've been making him happy too. Although he hates when I hold him. He doesn't like me.
He's racist.
Most of my animals don't like me. I've noticed that. My animals fucking hate me.
You are an asshole.
I am. I mean, the dog loves me. I don't know why the dog fucking loves me.
They sniff assholes to say hello, that's why.
No, that makes her a good point.
I know you're patronizing, but I don't care.
I mean, that's the only way anybody else is going to know that you're actually funny.
Lies. I'm hilarious. I'm Mexican. I know cricket, so meh. It's a happy thing. Why would that be sad?
Because you're Mexican.
I eat them. They're delicious.
Seriously, they don't have another version of the trumpet for me to use. I'll have to look for one later.
God damn you. Seriously, though. They're actually delicious, but if you eat too many of them, they will give you a stomachache.
I know. They're excellent sources of protein. Them and cicadas. Also grasshoppers.
Also supposedly mealworms.
Mealworms are delicious. When they're roasted.
I've never had them. Moving on. After this exchange, Seth Rogen actually is sent to get the weed in his state of anxiety and drug-addled brain. Why would you send the friend who doesn't know? He should know about drugs, but he's not taking care of himself or caring what he's putting into his body to get the drugs. Like, he might literally just walk down the street for no fucking reason other than shiny.
Well, because he couldn't walk at that moment, but he could fly.
You're referencing what he said.
Those are his words.
Right. Yes, that's why I said you're referencing what he said, but still. No.
Well, Anthony Mackie refused to get back in the car with Mr. Green because, and I quote, "They had to creep me the fuck out." And it wasn't Isaac's turn yet. It hadn't been a few hours. Not Isaac, Ethan. Oh, wait, that's right. It was Isaac.
I was gonna say yes.
And that's what Mr. Green said to Rob.
And then Mr. Green greets him and says 5-0, and then he freaks him out.
Yeah. 5-0, this is a bust. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yes, I'm kidding you. Don't do that.
And he goes into his serious, intense stuff. He knows too much shit. He says he's proud of him for being a husband, a lawyer, and then a father. He says he needs some indica because he's too freaked out.
That's because we find out that he's an angel.
That
and literally the son of Santa.
But how is he supposed to be an angel and the son of Santa? That doesn't make sense. Like
Santa is Saint Nicholas.
Okay, so, but that means that
all the saints technically angels.
That's not how that works, and we're not getting into that. We do too much religion on this podcast.
So saints don't get to become angels?
No, that's not how that works.
I mean, if you get into heaven, don't you automatically become an angel?
Again,
people in heaven angels?
Again, that's not how that works. No.
Oh, are they demons?
Why are you doing this to me?
Because I can. Hey, for once I'm asking intelligent questions, I'm not just shitting all over the religion.
You're just wanting to learn to shit more.
True, but there's not a single pedo joke in this movie. Are they at a church for children? A Catholic man.
I hate you. Okay.
I mean, the movie gave you the ammunition, and I did not make the joke.
You did by mentioning it, and you know it.
Did I know? Did I? I didn't see a single altar boy crying.
Moving on. Exactly, you're laughing, you bastard. Let's put it this way. Angels are made a certain way to be spiritual beings with free will. Humans are made a different way. We were made to be not just spiritual, we were made to be spiritual as well as physical. So that's why we differ in how we were made, and we differ in being. Because of that, we cannot become angels, nor can angels become us.
So, Zod can't be an angel?
Why would you bring Superman into this?
Because Michael Shannon is Zod. I think he also played one of the angels in Legion.
Moving on.
What? I'm just saying. It's not the first time he's played a man who can fly.
Or the second. Probably the third. Or maybe the fourth.
Yeah. And he has a quiet intensity about it.
Yes. Yes, he does. Exploited in this movie. Now, after giving Seth Rogen the indica of the future, he sees a strip club in which his daughter starts stripping. And his wife says, "Pop that pum-pum."
Well, as he describes the weed, it's a nice, relaxing blend that helps you calm down and release all your anxieties. Unless you're going through some heavy mind-altering shit.
And it will give you visions of the future.
Yeah, like the existential crisis of not being prepared for fatherhood.
Let's be honest. Nobody's ever prepared. And if you are, you're a dumbass. Because you're fooling yourself.
Some people are.
No, they're not. And I'm completely serious. Prepared emotionally, quote unquote, like yes, I'm gonna be a dad. That I'll give you. I'm referring more to the lines of holy shit, why the hell won't this baby go to sleep? He keeps crying. Shut up. Shut up.
Babies don't sleep. That's why you get a cat first.
Why do you want to smother your babies with a cat?
No, it's just the cats don't sleep either. They smack you in the middle of the night and they have really sharp claws. So you just get used to being in pain late at night, and there you go. Now you can have a child because you will also never sleep and always be in pain.
I take it the cat has been doing that?
No, the cat literally, I laid down for a second and the cat just fell asleep on my chest, and then in 5 seconds I was laying down. Right now he's got its food on a plate behind my head, and he's just been sitting on my shoulder eating.
Then why are you mentioning this?
Because cats are also evil like that.
So you're expecting your cat to go evil?
I mean, he's a cat. I mean, so he's already jumped on my shelf Holly shelf of little miniature Disney things. Knocked very few of them over. No. But he did jump up there and walk across.
Okay, we're going out of order. Okay.
We don't have to be in order, man.
Because I want to talk about the church now. Seth Rogen goes in front of a church. He's looking for how to get to his phone because he lost it with Mindy Kaling. And then he starts talking to a guy to help him with the map because he's too high to figure out what's going on. Turns out that the guy is Joseph, the father of Jesus. That's right, he's talking to a goddamn nativity scene. He literally talks to Joseph, he talks to the wise men, he even talks to the little goats and lambs and shit around Jesus.
Oh,
And
and he sees them as doggies.
and he doesn't even. He's like, holy shit, these animals can talk. And he's like, yeah, all dogs can talk. You know, Joseph saying this, and I'm like, what? Why? Why? No. And then he walks down with the shepherd's staff, apparently called a crook, and he sees his wife. He's not just in front of any Catholic church, but the same one that his wife goes to for midnight mass.
Yep.
Like this, like the coincidence. The coincidence is mind-boggling. Yes, it's a written story, but still, people. And then she tells him, "Get out of here! You're high as balls." And then he's like, "You know what? You're right." And he starts going back. And then he comes back to her, then leaves, then comes back to her. Then he gets noticed by her family, invited in to mass, and then hilarity ensues. Just
Always.
then we get another couple scenes, and we come back to the church, and then they're saying the Our Father. If you're not Catholic or Christian, doesn't matter. It's just a prayer. And then he starts doing the Hebrew Baruch Atah Adonai, probably saying that wrong. Sorry about that. And anyway, she's like, stop, not that kind of prayer. What? But same God, he says, and she's like, mm-mm. Like, yes, it is the same God. What are you talking about, woman? And then, you know what? You tell the rest of it. Fuck.
And then, while like he's just looking around, sees a baby. It starts hissing at him, telling him to fuck off. So he starts hissing at him. So of course he's playing up to all the old Jew stereotypes in the 50s and before, where they're evil snake people. And I love how he's like, "Do you think they can tell I'm a Jew?" He's like, "Yes." How? Your sweater, which he has an ugly Christmas sweater that has a giant Star of David in the middle of it,
And a bunch of smaller stars of David all fucking around it.
little tiny stars of David, a menorah, a dreidel, yeah, all the fun stuff. So he's looking around, he's panicking, and then the choir starts singing Silent Night, and he has a full-blown panic attack. He starts to heave. He's about to throw up. And I love his wife's response. As soon as he gets the bile's coming, it's coming down. You swallow it like a girl. Don't you throw up on me. Don't you throw up on me. He gets up, runs into the aisle.
Oh no, he asks for a barf bag. Remember, he's looking for a barf bag. There's no barf bags.
He starts ripping up the hymnals looking for a barf bag. And then he runs out into the main aisle and just throws up all over the beautiful tile floor. And the camera just stays on his wife and her sister. Is like, he's throwing up, isn't he? Yes, he is. Like, is it over? Nope. No, he's still going. He's still there. And then he looks back at the crucified Jesus. He goes, "We didn't kill him. We didn't do that. It's not us."
Now, to put this together, the player that Anthony Mackie keeps calling, Owens, is called White Messiah. And they meet at the Christmas party near the end of the movie. And then freaking Seth Rogen literally drops stuff. He tries to pick up. It was glass. He tries to pick it up. He was talking to Owens, saying like, "Oh my God, you're Messiah. You're awesome." He picks up some kind of pointy piece of glass, and he literally crucifies him to something through his hand, piercing it with the ornament. And then somebody tells him, "You killed my Jesus." He's like, "No, it's happening again." Like, why? No. Who came up with this shit? No.
I mean, it makes total sense to me. Which,
Why?
by the way, that church that they're at is the Cathedral Church of St. John the Divine.
It looks like a really pretty church.
It is a big, pretty church.
It reminds me of St. Adalbert.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have the nice spires that St. Patrick's has in New York, but it does have the one bell tower and the long stairs. It's a pretty, pretty church. I like churches. Churches look nice.
Agreed.
I don't like being in them because, it burns.
Note to self: get holy water and fill a water gun. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about. While being high in Anthony Mackie's ma's house, or Anthony Mackie's character's ma's house, what's his name, Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
Chris's mom's
Or
house.
C-Rob.
C-Rob. Okay. He has his phone. He thinks it's his phone. It's actually Mindy Kaling's. And he gets sent a dick. A big one.
Yes.
And then he has weird conversation with himself about it's a nice dick, yeah. And he sends text messages to some guy named James on the phone and proceeds to say, "You want it? Like, sure, I'd like to have a dick like that." And then he says, "You want to suck it?" And then Seth Rogen's like, "You know what? I don't think I'm gay, but you know what? I'm down. Let's go for it." And he says, "Yeah, I want to suck it." And like, I'm gonna suck this dude's dick, like, bruh. And like, I'm thinking to myself, how high do you have to be gay? Like, apparently this high.
It was an impressive dick.
But, bruh, again, how high do you have to be gay? Like, if all gay people are high all the time and this is why they're gay, more power to you. You can actually handle this craziness of being this high. I'm joking, people. But seriously, though, like, being high enough and you're just gay?
Or maybe you've just never been confronted with a pretty enough penis to want you to make you want to suck it.
Bruh, like, in all seriousness.
Perhaps all gay men actually have very pretty penises, and that's why they like to suck on them. I don't know because I'm not a gay man.
I don't know. I don't want to know. Y'all be real. Moving on.
So, for all the listeners out there, ask your closest gay friend, hey bro, can I see your penis? Might be pretty. Might be suckable.
There was a video similar to this on YouTube where gay guys saw vaginas and they're like, "Oh, it's pretty," or they were like, "Oh my god, no!" Like, and then, what do you call it? Women, lesbians saw dicks for the first time outside of, what's it called, Insight. They saw dicks for the first time. Everything was covered up. You didn't see anything, but they did, and they're like, "No," and yeah, like the reactions were like that, and just, I don't know if I agree with what you're saying, but moving on.
I mean, it was impressive.
I'm not saying it's not. The dude was packing, good for him. But again, like, admiring a dick, like how high were you? No.
They needed to have credited they should have credited the body double who provided the imagery, because it's supposed to be James Franco's penis, but they actually used the body double for those images. But the body double goes uncredited. Like, you couldn't have just put it in the credit. James Franco's penis played by.
Wait, I think they did that once for Al Pacino's ass. No, that was a TV show too.
They did.
That was for Friends. Yeah, Joey was supposed to be Al Pacino's butt double.
Yep. Hoo-ah.
No, that's not my butt. It has to clench. Clench. There you go. That's my butt. Oh, also, after talking about the dick and shit, and Chris's ma says that boy needs Jesus. Telling a Jew he needs Jesus. This specific gentleman, truer words were never spoken. God damn. And not needs Jesus in terms of like, no, being gay is no. Just, this motherfucker's messed up.
Yeah, like, but then when he meets Jesus, it scares the shit out of him.
He didn't meet Jesus. He met a fucking statue.
So?
Okay, by that logic, I've met Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Madonna, the Queen of England, George W. Bush.
I see you've also had a night at the museum.
Really? Really, bruh? Okay, fine. Paris Hilton. How about now?
Yeah, there's worth of her.
Moving on.
By the way, every quack is when I fart.
Why would you mention that?
I just feel like people need to know that I am. My stew was delicious, but it made me extra flatulent tonight. So
beans.
Yeah, we're just gonna no
cheese,
no beans, no cheese. It was just mashed potatoes with stew gravy and pork meat and some carrot.
That's weird. That doesn't sound like it should make you flatulent, but yeah.
Nah, I'm fucking weird. I have a strange stomach. Either that or I'm finally farting out my cheeseburger from yesterday.
Moving on. Oh, okay.
Or my breakfast pizza from yesterday.
When they get to the party. When they finally get to the party. That was the weirdest, stupidest shit I've ever seen. They literally...
They're the best thing ever.
How is that...
You go to the Korean grocery store. You give the cashier your ticket. He takes you and locks you in a freezer. Then you go out the back door of the freezer, which, of course, the freezer has a back door.
Oh yeah,
That's how
Narnia,
Korean grocery
right.
stores are. Yeah, and you go through the back door of the freezer into a tunnel of absolute darkness, and then Christmas lights come up, Christmas music starts playing, and there's a butler standing there waiting to take your coat. I mean, that's normal New York City shit.
I'll take your word for it, I've never been. And then they ride a train to the fucking party.
I mean, you gotta come on, ride the train and choo-choo ride it.
No.
Hey, I'm a product of the 90s. I used to watch Music Box all the fucking time.
I watched the Spanish equivalent.
Yeah, I did that a couple times too. Good music.
Ok, vamos a hablar en español entonces. Ok. Ahora, después de llegar a la fiesta.
No Nintendo.
Anyways, after they get to the party, we have another unfortunate run-in with James. Because after they get to the party, Seth Rogen runs into Mindy Kaling. They switch the phones again. She mentions that there was sensitive info. He mentions, yeah, I saw. And then they talk about James's dick, about how it's a boss hog, how it's an A-plus dick, and how he was thinking about, Mindy Kaling says, you think I could handle it? And he's like, you know what? I was actually thinking about it myself. I thought I could do it. And you know what? Yeah, I could work on it, but I could do it. And like, bro.
And he even points out that he's a grower and a shower. I mean, his dick soft is like two of mine's hard. I mean,
you had to mention the size thing, really?
Hey, it's a line in the movie.
Fuck it. And then James comes in. It's James Franco, one of Seth Rogen's friends, and then they're talking about innuendos and doing stuff about how, like, I had I was with two guys earlier tonight.
Two guys all night long.
Yeah, that. And then talking about fucking how he was willing to take the dick, and then they decide to dance together, and Mindy Kaling is mad at him because he's cock blocking her.
Yeah. I think I couldn't cock block it. Oh, it'd take 10 guys to cock block this thing. Have you seen the size of it?
He's obviously very high, not understanding. But part of it, quite honestly, looks like, yeah, he knows what the fuck's coming out of his mouth. And apparently what's going in it later tonight.
I mean, that's James Franco's line. Is like, hey, I don't know who I'm starting the night with, but I think I know who I'm finishing it with.
Just goddamn. Now, after this, we have Joseph meeting Miley Cyrus, and then they're talking about shit, about how he loves her, and then, loves Miley Cyrus as an artist, and how he has a girl that he likes, and how they're talking about shit, and then he mentions...
She thinks he's trying to proposition her for a threesome, which is like, I've done that with fans before, it always gets awkward.
And then he keeps calling her Miley Cyrus, not just Miley. And then she says, no, don't call me Miley Cyrus, just call me Hannah. And I mentioned to Sean during the movie that I thought she was going to say, call me Alexis. Because originally, before Hannah Montana was the name of the show, Disney wanted her to be called Alexis Texas. Not Miley Cyrus, I mean just the character. And that would have been hilarious. Because Alexis Texas, as some people may or may not know, is the name of a porn star, and people had to tell Disney this in order to tell them, you have to change the name.
Which, of course, made me think of the fact that the whole reason that at the beginning of this year, Pepsi changed the name of Sierra Mist to Starry because the copyright on the name Sierra Mist ran out, and there is a OnlyFans girl who had been calling herself Mist for years. And as soon as the Sierra Mist name copyright went out, she bought it before Pepsi could renew it. She changed all her Instagrams, all her social media, everything to Sierra Mist, and was able to provide proof that before buying the copyright, she'd been professionally known as it. So she should be the copyright holder to begin with. And she won. So Pepsi had to change the name of one of their best-selling sodas. So you can blame a porn star for why we now get to drink Starry instead of Sierra Mist. Although I've seen some of her videos, I would drink Sierra Mist.
Moving on.
It's a refreshing spray sometimes.
I hate you. Okay, moving on.
It's TIERRAMYST. Look it up on OnlyFans.
you people do what you want. You, like Mama Robert said, y'all need Jesus.
Y'all need Jesus.
Anyways, then Miley Cyrus tells him, "You want to propose?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "What? You want to propose, right? Because it's Christmas, it's a special time." He's like, "I don't think I want to do all that." And she says, "What? You're one of those guys who doesn't commit." He's like, "No, I'm gonna commit." And then she convinces him to do it. And then she sings a song, Wrecking Ball, and then he gets in on it, proposes, and both Seth and Anthony Mackie, Chris and Isaac are saying like, "No, don't do it, dude." And then she said yes, and they're like, "Holy shit, it worked! Christmas is magic."
Yes, and like proper Americans, the power of peer pressure leads to a marriage.
That's not how marriage is supposed to work. People, please don't give in to peer pressure. That's for kids. Kids, don't give in to peer pressure. Build up an immunity, because if not, this is what the shit that happens.
I mean, Disney's what ruins it for everybody. You got all them Disney princesses who are like, yeah, it's cool. All at the end, no matter what happens, you're going to get married. Like, all your friends are going to tell you it's a good idea, and all your family's going to tell you it's a good idea. And even when you don't want to do it, you might as well do it, because nobody's going to stop bitching about it until you do.
No, don't you remember freaking The Little Mermaid? She was telling her father, "But Dad..." What?
No, her dad didn't want her to get married.
Yes,
but her sisters did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, her dad was like, "No, you're not going to marry him."
Her sisters wanted her to get married because they thought she'd finally just get gone and stop being, the star of daddy's attention.
Those bitches. But specifically, okay, her dad was like, what's it called? You don't know him. And she's like, "But I love him." And it's like, as a kid, you're like, listen to her. She knows her heart. She loves him. And then when you're older, you're like, no, she don't know shit. I didn't know shit at that age.
But she still fell for peer pressure because she had the crab singing songs about how
we don't need to talk about her STDs.
She had the fish singing about how wonderful it is to get married.
Fuck you. That was a good joke.
It was not.
Fuck you.
They get one of these. But you had the octopus lady who literally gave her legs so she could go up on the surface so that she could get married.
Her name was Ursula, bro.
Everybody was encouraging her except for her father. That's peer pressure.
Okay, the crab was telling her not to go. The fish was telling her not to go.
They were telling her not to go to the surface. They weren't telling her not to get married.
It's implied.
No, it's not. I mean, mermaids are technically sirens. They wanted her to do what mermaids do and make him drown and suck him to his death, and that's necrophilia.
That's not how they mate. They eat them.
That's worse, kinda.
Kind of, not exactly. I mean, what's it called? They kill them, then they eat them because they need to eat. That's how they eat.
So mermaids are black widows? They fuck and then they eat?
No, more like they kill and then they eat. They don't fuck.
Oh, then what's the point? You gotta at least fuck.
There is
Death by snoo-snoo.
There is no rule that you have to fuck.
Yes, there is. It's called death by snoo-snoo.
That's not a rule. That's a meme from freaking Futurama.
It is a rule. It's number 34.
That's not how that works. I know what you did. No, that's not how that works. You realize how hollow it is to clap for yourself, right?
It's like patting yourself on the back.
Stop farting.
But it smells like beef stew, even though I had pork.
Yeah, moving on. She says yes to the marriage, like I said. Then she said no.
That stays in, by the way.
What?
That stays in, by the way.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Anyways, what's it called? Owens, the white messiah, called Seth Rogen Rabbi Dancing Motherfucker after he got crucified. Like, yeah. Why? Rabbi Dancing Motherfucker. Dude, that's not even, no.
Like that Jewish guy crucifying the Messiah.
Again, Rabbi Dancing Motherfucker. No. What? He wasn't even dancing.
What, if you remember before that, they were all laughing at Chris because they had his Instagram video when they were at the karaoke bar dancing.
Yeah, fine. In context, that makes sense.
right. You forgot about the onesie.
Why are you talking about a onesie?
Onesies! I wish they made them in my size.
Why? They're itchy and horrible. Ugh.
But I want to dress like Pikachu.
Make one.
Actually, I want one of the Totoro ones.
Totoro would look good on you.
Or a cat bus.
Back to the movie.
What? I could be a cat bus.
You're not white enough.
The cat bus is orange.
I said wide enough, not white enough.
Oh.
What the fuck, man? Fuck you. Jesus.
Usually when we say things that end in enough, it's we're not brown enough for that. So I just assumed they're not white enough.
Wide. W-I-D-E. Wide.
There you go.
Jesus.
Enunciate.
Listen better, fucker.
I'm sorry, I don't always hear at the speed of Mexican. I only speak at that speed.
Hear at the speed of Mexican.
That's why I can't translate Spanish in my head. I don't listen fast enough.
I'm buying you anime DVDs in Spanish just so that you have to listen to it in Spanish.
I mean, I watch all the DBZ movies in Spanish. Doesn't that count?
Not unless you watch them literally 365 days a year.
Nope.
At least watch Tree of Life.
Dude, it's too much Spanish.
That's the point.
I deal with too much Spanish at work. You got all the landscaping guys who come and pay $100 bills for fucking $5 things. A $10 pack of cigarettes. There's a $100 bill. Can't break that. Then they hand me a $10 bill. I'm like, what? You had the 10 all along. Just give me the fucking 10.
We get Joseph Gordon-Levitt finally meeting Mr. Green himself. He's telling him to smoke something. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna. And then
weed makes me paranoid.
And he says, this is just smoke it. You know what? Fuck it. Fine. And he literally has a vision of Christmas past. Finally.
Yeah. He has the weed of Christmas past. Where he goes and sees the first Christmas after his parents died, when his friends become his family.
And we
take him to start the Christmas tradition.
We literally get to see Seth Rogen with a big Jufro and his beard, like, I don't even know what you'd call that. Like, tied up in... Go ahead.
It has a single beaded braid.
Alright, fine. A single beaded braid. And he's got the Marley shirt and, like...
I mean, you get a glimpse of it at the very beginning of the movie.
Okay, you do at the funeral, but, like, I knew the man was a stoner. I didn't know how big a stoner he was. God damn.
Well, that's the thing. He wasn't a stoner then. Because you remember when even then when he pulled out the joint, he's like, look, I stole some hash from my brother and rolled it into this one joint. Well, we're going to get so fucked up tonight. He has a single joint split between 3 people.
That's not a lot of movement.
Yeah. And then there's a single flask of whiskey. They ain't going to get that fucked up.
They're pacing themselves. They're young.
Or they're young and weak and they don't know what they're doing and because they've never had it before. So that tiny amount actually fucks them up.
I was giving them an excuse, but no, you had to put their business out there, you asshole.
Which is why years and years later they have to do progressively harder and harder drugs and drink more and more booze because they built up a tolerance over years.
That's Seth Rogen. Like, the way he did all those drugs, he definitely has a fucking tolerance. Everybody else, I don't think so.
I mean, Chris definitely has a tolerance to caffeine because he was chugging them Red Bulls just like Joshua was.
Agreed. Just...
I like how Josh just disappears after he wrecks the limo, too. Like, we don't see him. There's no, like, ending, like, what the fuck happened to the limo? What happened to Josh?
He just had to fuck off.
But, like, technically it's Chris's fault he got fired? Like, that's the sequel we need. 2025, they need to have the night after.
The night after.
And it's Joshua's revenge arc against, hunting down Chris for costing him his job.
After 10 years? Really, bro?
Yep. I mean...
You know what? It could actually...
What else could it do?
What?
I mean, 10 years. It's perfect. It's just the right amount of time.
Why would 10 years be perfect?
Because it's enough time for the people who have seen this movie to forget about it. And the people who heard about this movie but haven't seen it to think it's a completely separate movie.
Again, what is your point, man?
I have no idea. I mean, they made a vacation movie fucking 20 years after the last vacation movie. I literally just found out today that is a continuation of the story.
Of which one?
The National Lampoon Vacation movies.
It is?
Yeah, the Christina Applegate one that came out a couple years ago it's either a reboot or a continuation.
Well, I like Christina Applegate a lot more than Chevy Chase, so why not?
And I only found that out because I was at Walmart earlier and I saw the vacation collection from National Lampoon, and that movie's on there as the last movie.
Wow.
So in order, you have National Lampoon's Vacation, Christmas Vacation, European Vacation. Nope, wrong order. Vacation, European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Summer Vacation, which is the one where they go to Vegas, and then the next one is just called Vacation again. It's not even called National Lampoon's Vacation. It's just called Vacation.
Okay,
I think that's why most people didn't know it was a continuation or a reboot or whatever, because National Lampoon's doesn't exist as a company anymore.
Yeah, I wondered about that because they haven't done anything, no Van Wilder, no college stuff, no. Yeah.
I mean, they did do another Van Wilder, but meh.
The Rise of Taj.
Which is a decent movie. It's not great. It's not as good as the first one.
I don't
that's
disagree.
Simply because it's missing Ryan Reynolds.
Are you saying that Kumar can't hold a movie on his own?
Yes.
Fuck you.
I mean, the Rise of Taj is not as funny of a movie. It's still a funny movie.
I'm just giving you shit. You're right.
The bad thing is you can't even call it a shitty sequel because it's a good movie on its own. It's just not as funny as its predecessor.
Yeah, I can't deny that. I actually did want it to be better. You know what I mean?
I did too. I really I think that's what also kind of sullied it for me. I went in seeing it with the first Van Wilder was awesome. Second Van Wilder, come on, even more of the same stupid fucking jokes. And then it's like, oh, these are the exact same stupid fucking jokes, except with a comedian with less timing.
I mean, Kal Penn, okay, I'm not saying he's not a comedian, but he's more of an actor than a comedian, you know what I mean?
I mean, same thing with Ryan Reynolds.
But he's got more comedic timing.
They're both good comedic actors. It's just, Kal Penn is better when he's playing off of someone than when he's the one other people are supposed to be playing off of. I mean, that's why it's not Kumar and Harold. It's Harold and Kumar.
Okay, there is something about the human ear, that just accepts that certain things sound better a certain way. Like Harold and Kumar sounds better than Kumar and Harold.
Yeah, I know, but even most of the jokes, most of the setups for jokes, you start with John Cho setting up the joke and Kumar finishing it. It's him playing off of John Cho's character. It's very rarely in either of the Harold and Kumar movie is it Kumar sets up the joke and Harold finishes it.
Okay, but that's because they had to change the names, okay? It can sound good, okay? Listen to this. Kumar and Oppa.
No.
Come on. It sounds better.
That's what it sounds like.
Stop farting.
No, that would be that one. That was one just long one, but it's a very short sound effect, so just keep kind of spamming it there. That kind of fart. Kind of lifted me up a little bit off the couch.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, the movie's funny. It's got little things like that annoyed the crap out of me. Little things that were funny as hell. It's just like, how? Why? Just
yeah. Same for me. Like, I had not seen this movie before today, and after while watching, I'm like, this movie's fun. It's more fun than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a stupid Seth Rogen stoner movie. Like, I did not like This Is the End. I thought it was fucking stupid. I'm not a huge fan of Pineapple Express. I thought it was just it was stupid stoner humor. And like I'm all for playing to the lowest common denominator in terms of funny, but no, like those movies, I don't see what's so great and funny about them.
Okay, but
They have good jokes in them. There are moments, but to watch the entire movie, these movies suck.
Okay, but
This one was good.
good comedies have personality. Like, what do you call it? Zack and Miri Make a Porno. That was a good one.
See, for me, that one is also boring as shit.
What is wrong with you, bruh?
I mean, it has moments, but it's meh.
Okay, 40-Year-Old Virgin. Not Seth Rogen, but still.
The unrated one that came out on DVD, that one was better. Like, the theatrical release of that one was, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good. It needed the raunchiness, the stuff you can get away from without the R rating, the NC-17, or the just unrated, which is something I miss. I missed the early to mid 2000s heyday of the unrated version coming out on DVD and Blu-ray of, the stupid comedy movies. They're like, here's the jokes that they forced us to cut out because they were too crude for the movie. And you know what? Some of them, not all, some of them were better for it. Like all of the American Pie movies are better for the unrated version that came out on DVD.
Okay, sometimes the unrated version actually isn't unrated. It's just stupid, like what they did with Sex Drive.
Yeah, the unrated version is just some of the scenes are a little bit longer, and there's a couple jokes that they were cut out because they just couldn't get the R rating if that joke was still in it.
Not just that,
it wasn't a great joke.
Not just that, they had literal models like blue screen. They blue screened them in where they would walk across the screen topless, jump around a little, and then leave the screen.
Yeah. Or some like Sex Drive, they specifically like their unrated version was just we added shit for the unrated version. It's not this is what they made us cut out. I mean the ones where like this is the movie as it was intentionally meant to be seen, but we weren't allowed to show this version. Like the Schneider cut. It's the only way you can really compare it for modern day, which I know it's hard to think that 15 years ago was, far enough back that you can't consider it modern day. But the modern day equivalent is the Snyder cut. Or it's like, this is the way the movie was meant to be seen versus this is what we saw. Like, it was better when you had that option of I could go buy the unrated version and see, okay, so this movie only 5 to 10 minutes longer than it was originally. But some of those jokes made it funnier. Sometimes having those few extra seconds down a scene really made the joke hit more.
Okay. Certain movies, like, I wish they would do that kind of thing or go back and do it. Like, they would use the jokes or use gags for the trailer and then not put them in the movie.
They've done that a lot. They've been doing that for years.
Yes, but I wish they would do that where they would do an unrated and put that shit back in. That's why.
Yeah. I know a really famous version of that would be the original Hocus Pocus with the trailer scene of them in the supermarket. That entire scene doesn't exist. The scene when they're in the supermarket is a short nothing scene. Everything that you saw in the trailer that shows them in the store was cut out, was never put in the movie. It was made for the trailer. It was like, that was like one of the biggest jokes of the trailer. Like, it made you want to go see this movie because it was some non-comedic actors doing comedy. And like, that's fucking hilarious. I gotta see what leads up to that joke and what the punchline of that joke is. And then the whole scene is cut out of the movie.
I know they've been doing it for years. I still hate that. Like, certain movies, it's a lot more noticeable than others. Like, not Bulletproof Monk, the other one with Jackie Chan. Fuck. Shit, it was similar to Bulletproof Monk. Hold on.
Oh, Jackie Chan movie similar to Bulletproof Monk?
Yeah, it was about a medallion. It might have been just called the Medallion, something like that.
Yeah, the Medallion. Okay, I know that one. Yeah, there was an entire fight scene that is in the trailer that doesn't exist in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? That's the fight scene I paid to see because it was like the two big actors having this fight. And like, yeah, no, we cut that entire scene from the movie. Why? That's what people wanted to see. We wanted to see a full fight scene there. Not the little snippet we got in the trailer. Like, that made me want to go see the movie.
And they're literally just thinking, I know.
Yeah. But see, that was another one of those that you could go buy the extended edition DVD, and that fight scene was in it because they put it back in. Or you bought the special edition DVD that had all the cut scenes, or all the scenes that were cut, so you could just play a reel of the deleted scenes. Like, I miss that stuff. That's why I like physical media.
I know what you mean. Like, honestly, if it weren't illegal, I would literally just copy my originals and just play a bunch of the what do you call it, copies I've made of my movies onto physical media and just watch those.
Yeah. But, like, even sometimes that stuff is on, like, anime DVDs, and some of that is fun and interesting. Like, I have a box set for the series Grenadier, where every single episode has cast commentary on it that you only get in that one box set. There are 4 different box sets that they released for this series. There's only one that has the commentary on it.
I hate
And that
when they do
commentary
that.
is interesting. The commentary is interesting as fuck because there'll be like, because each episode has like the 3 main stars of the episode, which not always the main character. It's like, sure, we have the main character, but then we have these couple side characters. They would, like, one episode would be, okay, here's the voice actor for this side character, the voice actress for this side character, and here's the producer of this episode. And then you had the host, and the hosts were like the 2 main voice actors, and they would just talk about shooting that episode and shooting the show in general, and then recording the lines and stuff. And the fact that you could sit and watch through the entire fucking show again, 26 episodes, and listen to commentary on all 26 episodes. That was awesome. I love that. And I look at some of my other DVDs that have like behind the scenes stuff like that, and it's like 1 or 2 episodes have it.
If there's one
Or
thing,
it will be a separate thing of, oh, watch episode 6 with commentary. Why isn't it just on episode 6? Why do I have to open a separate menu or put in a whole separate disc just to watch the one episode with the commentary?
like, that's the one thing. Anime DVDs are usually very, very skimpy in terms of features when it comes to the price.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But sometimes you find gems out there, and like I said, that was a series that also came out in that heyday of extended editions and special editions, unrated versions. Like, you would get that with anime too. You got this is the theatrical version that we got to see in the US. This is the theatrical version that they got to see in Japan. And this is the version you were meant to see that we weren't allowed to show because censorship. And it'd be 3 different fucking versions of the movie on one disc.
Like,
But see, I like that because it encouraged you to go buy the special edition box set.
okay, no, in that regard, fine, yes, but like when they don't tell you, like for years we like, okay, your generation got more of it than I did, but for years you would think like, okay, I saw all of Dragon Ball Z, and then you're like, there were episodes that they didn't release, and then they suddenly released them in special edition shit when you have the original release and it didn't have that.
Oh, yeah, you got that. The big thing for that would be like Gundam is missing an entire episode. There's no release of Gundam that has the Kikui's Doan's Island episode in it. And not until recently that we actually get that story as canon for Gundam. And it's because 44 years later, they made a movie about that one episode. The episode that they were forced to make because of the toy company that nobody wanted. So the creator himself said, no, nobody's ever seen this episode after the original broadcast. We're not going to include it in VHS releases. It's not including it in the beta releases, not in the Laserdisc, not in DVD, not in Blu-ray. Nobody's ever seeing this fucking episode.
But again, like, why? With Dragon Ball, it makes sense with, what's it called? Goku showing his dick or perverted shit like panties and shit. Like, okay, people were too sensitive then. Makes sense. People are too sensitive now. Fuck, they're talking about doing that shit again.
Yeah, or like some of that stuff was just simple editing, and like I remember with Dragon Ball Z, especially when they're flying the Namek and they encounter the mirror ship. And I remember watching it. The first time I saw those episodes was the English version that we saw on TV, the ones that were dubbed by what was the Canadian company?
7 something.
Gold?
No, Gold.
No. Golden Harmony, Ocean. The Ocean dub. And they drew Bulma to be wearing shorts. And then years later, I saw it on Telemundo. And they had the original animation where she's in a thong.
Yep.
Then you watch back to the Ocean dub, or even watching the Funimation dub when they reanimated it, and I was like, you can actually legit see the brushstrokes of somebody hastily taking a gray marker and just drawing over the fucking cell. Or like, look, she's in shorts now. Just shaded in her fucking thigh.
That's the one thing, like...
It was like, it wasn't that bad. It was like, ooh, whoopsie shit. There's a 2-second scene where we see her from behind in a thong. The whole rest of the time, we just see her from the neck up in her crop top. I never understood why they had to bother to censor it. It's like this one, maybe 2-minute long scene where you actually do get to see her from behind, or you see her from the front or a side profile where you could actually see her leg. The bulk of that episode, that's a 2-episode arc, you see her from the neck up, or you see her from the chest up, and she's wearing her crop top. They don't add extra material to her top, which is a crop top. She's got some underboob, but the fact that she's in a thong is inappropriate. Now, is it inappropriate because it's a kid's show? Is it inappropriate because one of the characters in most of those scenes is an 8-year-old? Or is it inappropriate because an adult woman is showing skin, but she's a fucking cartoon character?
I don't know. The only thing I can say is that's one of the things I love about being Latino. We're used to that kind of shit because you've seen telenovelas, number one. Number two, okay, I
used to watch the news on Telemundo just for the weather report.
Moving on. Look, my main specific point is there are bunches of anime that had violence, that had blood, that had gore, and stuff that came out earlier that I got to see mostly because of going to Mexico and literally just watching TV. But you get the idea, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I don't watch this stuff in the U.S. What happened? Later on, I find out that Latin America was one of the first ones to actually reach out to Japan. Like, yeah, we want some stuff to put on TV. Let's get your animation, and they didn't change shit.
Yeah,
because we were used to that shit: backstabbing, blood, violence, gore. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the European versions also don't have that. It's the North American releases that are so heavily edited. Like, it was Latin America and Italy. Like, mecha anime, like my favorite genre, mecha anime, is so fucking huge in Italy. Like, they get so many of the shows first, and they get them completely unedited.
Puritanical bastards.
And then we'll see the same episodes here in the U.S. And it's like, wait, this episode is 28 minutes long. Yeah. Well, why is the American release 23 minutes long? Oh, that's normal. That's a censorship stuff. Like, yeah, but what did you cut out? And it'll be like whole chunks of fight scenes are cut out because it's too violent, or there's a little bit of blood, and therefore we had to cut out the entire scene. Like, you can digitally paint out the blood. Even back in the day, they would erase out the blood or recolor it.
Okay, not technically the same thing, but like the Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat, they changed it from red blood to like sweat. It was green, I believe.
Yeah, on Reptile it was always green. On everyone else, either didn't have any color to it at all, or they made it sweat.
You get the idea. Just
like in all the fatalities, they just no color. They eliminated blood for fatalities altogether.
Like, censorship,
which is why more people wanted it for Genesis, because Genesis had the blood. I mean, come on, Genesis also had Doom.
Agreed, man. I miss those days. Like, I thought as a kid I would have a lot more time for video games. Nowadays, like I said, 2 hours. Just fuck.
Hey, I'm lucky if I get that sometimes. My days are spent sleeping. It's the downside to the fact that I work late night. So,
I think we're done.
Back to the movie.
All right, go for it.
I mean, we're basically done. So, the general ending of the movie is the party winds down. It's the next day. All three of the friends have had these realizations of they are each other's family. Like, yeah, life's going to get in the way. They're going to drift apart a little bit, but they're still always going to be friends. They're still always going to be family to each other. So, just what happens, happened. And while they're sitting and then kind of talking and having this heartfelt moment, Isaac notices that he has 96 missed calls on his phone. And that's because his wife is going into labor.
Not exactly. They're Braxton Hicks contractions, but moving on.
Well, they don't find it out until they actually get to the hospital.
Yay.
But they're in a shitty part of town. They're never going to get a taxi on Christmas morning in that part of town. And then they see Mr. Green's car sitting there with the door open and the engine running.
So what do? They steal his car.
Because it's a Christmas miracle in their own words. And then Mr. Green sits there, he just looks up, watches them steal his car. Like, I guess I finally earned these. And he sprouts fucking angel wings and flies away.
It was freaking weird.
Yeah. So they're flying, they're driving through the city. You've got Ethan in the front seat, Gordon-Levitt's character. He's in there, he's driving. Isaac's in the back having sympathy labor while Chris is trying to soothe him.
It was fucking weird.
They get to the hospital, they find out, false alarm, Isaac is still tripping ball. So he's talking with his wife. He shows her the dumb video he made that shows he was freaking out, and she starts laughing. She's laughing. She finds it hysterical. She's like, "Oh, thank fucking God, you're freaking out just as much as me."
Then she says, "I'm going to be your rock." And then
yes.
Seth or Isaac says the gayest thing. Actually, no, I can't say the gayest. Says another gay innuendo thing. He says, "I get to fuck Dwayne the Rock Johnson." Because she's his rock. Buddy.
And then he goes, and she goes, "I love you, Isaac." He goes, "I love you, Dragon Bethany." Like, did you just say Dragon Bethany? He's like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm still tripping my balls off here. You look like a dragon to me. So she starts squawking at him.
Yeah.
And honestly, Holly does that shit to me. And like fucking 5 a.m. when she gets up, scares the shit out of me. Because I am just going to bed then most nights. So my sleepy ass crawling into bed, and then out of nowhere, and she full pterodactyl arms and everything. Like her touch of the tism hits her hard at 5 a.m.
Bruh.
Bruh.
You know I'm joking.
I mean, I got the melatonin candies. I might have to start eating more of those.
Just be careful not to overdo it.
Nah, I stick to the recommended safe dosage. Never have more than 5 in one day. I only ever eat 3 at a time. It's just enough to make me feel a little more calm. And once I calm down, I go to sleep. I wake up just fine. I've never overslept because of that.
I'm more worried about becoming used to them. That's the bad part.
Oh, yeah, that's why I don't take them every night. It's like every couple nights, or if I'm just having a really restless night and I can't get to sleep. Because the ones I get, they're like M&Ms, but they have melatonin in them. It's, do you know those caffeine candies that I've given you before?
Yep.
That are like 1 milligram of caffeine? Yeah, I've got the same thing, but they're melatonin. So I have candy to wake up, candy to go to sleep.
After he speaks to Dragon Bethany, or Dragon Bessie, whatever her name is, then we have...
then we have Chris talking to his mom. He tells her that he's on steroids and stuff. And he comes clean about that. He's like, I guess we're going to lose that park that they're going to name after me. And she's like, fuck that park. They got crackheads. Which is what he said earlier. He doesn't want a park named after him because that park's full of crackheads. And then we have Ethan character. He shows up at, what's your face's name again?
Diane.
Lizzie Kaplan. Leanne? Diana,
yeah.
Diane, yeah. He shows up at her house and she's like, she answers the door. She's like, you're not going to propose to me again. Like, no. Are you sure? No. And it's literally the first time he's been at her parents' house because a big part of why the relationship fell through was he refused to meet her parents. Like, after they had been dating for 2 years, he still refused to meet her parents.
Yeah, our boy's afraid of commitment, afraid of change.
Yep.
But then,
So he finally goes to their house. He still hadn't met them yet. And then we get, they have their little heart-to-heart talk. They kind of decide that they're going to give it another chance, but they need to go slow.
and then he proceeds to say, "I want to have sex with your mom and dad." Seriously, the awkward
Yeah.
with these two. The fuck.
Yep. And then we get a fade to black and rise to 1 year later, and everybody's having the big Christmas together. Diane and Ethan are together. Chris is Chris. Isaac is happy with his family and his new daughter. And she starts fussing on the monitor. So the three guys say, "We got it." And they go and they sing a lullaby version because it is Christmas. So they sing a lullaby version of Christmas in Holland to put the baby to sleep. Roll credit. Oh no, it's a fun movie. It was more fun than I expected it to be. I honestly expected it to be a dumb fucking stoner comedy.
Yeah, I'll give
But
it to you.
it's from the same producers who did Neighbors, and Neighbors I thought was going to be a dumb fucking stoner comedy too, and it turned out to actually be kind of funny also.
Come on, Neighbors, you knew was going to be good. Just
No, I
because
knew it was going to be funny, but I thought it was going to be stupid pothead humor, and that it just like it seemed like all the funny would be the trailer shot. Like there would be no jokes left over for the movie, and then the movie turned out to just be funny as fuck. And what you see in the trailers is not even half of what the good funny moments are in that movie. Highly recommend seeing Neighbors if you haven't.
I agree. I mean, it's not predictable funny in a lot of places. It's like, where the fuck are they going with this? And then they bring shit out of nowhere. Yes, it is stoner comedy in places. Other places, it's cringe, but like weird.
And it has a sequel that's also good.
Wait, what?
There's a sequel to it that
There's
came
a
out a couple
sequel?
years after that. Yeah, and it's also a good movie.
Where's the sequel? I'm not seeing it.
I forget the name of the sequel. There's a sequel where they have to team up. Yeah, it's Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising.
I thought you were talking about this one, not Neighbors 2 for a second. Fuck.
Which one did you think? No, there's not a sequel to the Christmas movie. No, there's a sequel to Neighbors.
Okay.
Both of them are good movies. And again, both of them, if you watch the trailer, they seem like they're going to be those dumb movies where all the funny is in the trailer. And they're like, okay, cool. What dumb shit did they fill feature length time with? And it's actually like, no, like the jokes that are in the trailers are actually the shitty joke. They saved the good stuff for the movie. And the shitty jokes make you actually want to watch the movie.
Right, like we said, we agree. There are a couple of things like why they're funny, but fuck. But yeah, I definitely recommend this.
This movie is absolutely a time capsule for 2015. Does it hold up? No. Like you got some shit. They're just like, yeah, I remember that from a decade ago.
Okay, hold on. What do you mean it doesn't hold up? Like technology wise, or what do you mean?
Like it's just like there's some dated references that very much aged the movie.
Okay, yes. Okay, let me put it this way. I agree, but it's definitely a lot less dated than freaking not Trapped in Paradise. What was the other one?
Scrooge?
That's it, Scrooged.
Yeah, but that was set in the 80s. I mean, you're talking about a 30-year gap there versus a 10-year gap.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Like, if you're going to watch a movie from 30 years old and you're like, man, I forgot it was like that when I was a kid, versus a grown adult watching a movie from a time when he was also a grown adult, and like, I remember that. I can't believe the world was ever that dumb.
Of course the world was that dumb.
Oh yeah, it only gets dumber every year.
Unfortunately.
We don't notice it as much until the year has gone by, though.
Speaking of,
it is bye-bye time. I think that's all we have to say for this. We recommend it. I think this is the last of our holiday 2023 movies.
Agreed. Now, stay tuned for who knows what the hell else we're doing. You know what? If you have any ideas on what you want us to actually review, put it in the comment section.
Yes. We do have a special project coming in 2024. We don't know when we're starting that. We don't know when we're actually going to start posting it, but it is something special to me because it reminds me of my teenage years and just happy times with my brother. So when we get to that, we'll make sure there is a big announcement on all the socials, which you can find us on almost all social media platforms at Zeropoint Energy Podcast. Good night, and be good to one another.
Good night, everyone. Keep the faith. Bye-bye.